Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's December 5th, 2025, and I'm back with a break time message. She's spiritual, one masculine said to another. They are talking about high honor. They're talking about an entourage, as in she has an entourage, which is a group following and attending to some important person. Curator is saying, technically, she's the savior. And there's something about recycle. They're talking about Hitler. There are still a group of masculines talking to the curator about this woman as an appetizer, as though they are dreaming about consuming her, feeding on her. They are an energy vampire, a psychopathic energy vampire. The curator is talking to somebody about a relationship. They need one in order to get permission to be in the energy and then manipulate that energy. They're talking about racism. This was mentioned a few months back. It appears as though that's not permitted. This is a unification process, and we're we're moving away from that other kind of stuff that we have been experiencing regarding our separation and the ideology that some are better than others. One of these masculines said to another, "You'd paid money to a sorcerer." So that was yesterday. There were some sort of mental and emotional interferences yesterday, and it could be that that was picked up on right away and then discussed. The person who paid the money for a sorcerer is arguing that this woman leader doesn't deserve her reward for surviving an impossible life path, apparently, that they deserve it instead. So they are doing sorcery on this person's mind and life, trying to steal the reward, the authority, the role. These people don't even know this woman. They've been spying and stalking on the web, the social media, YouTube, other methods, but they've never actually personally met this person. It's like they're doing their best to destiny swap by doing sorcery over the mental body to make it appear as though they are unstable and therefore unworthy of their reward. So last night I was sitting there before bedtime and I heard the moment of truth. I was wondering what that was all about. Apparently something is biblical, and there's something about Russia. Someone is talking about capital punishment. They're invasive, quote unquote, somebody said. The curator says she knows everything. She advertises herself. Somebody else is talking about the army, their army, the genetically altered army. Apparently, the 4th, December 4th, was the moment of truth. The soul was measured. The heart was measured by Osiris some time ago, and now the soul has been measured by someone else, perhaps the Most High God himself. Because yesterday's read was that he was checking the light inside of the temple, the flesh suit, and also genetics, DNA. Somebody is talking about a guarantee. So this woman's heart was measured by Osiris, and it appears as though the soul has been measured, and there's a guarantee that this woman will be freed. She's been emancipated and elevated, and they cannot trap her. She has a guarantee exit or entry into another spatial dimensional environment. This woman will be exiting the abusive masculine's game. She has been emancipated. They cannot trap her with any known old mechanisms or tricks or any new ones. One of them is saying she needs her medicine. And they are talking about their signals. They use heavy metal in the medicines as bridges and connectors to various flesh temples housing spirit and soul, and the timelines that they inhabit. It could be that their signals into this woman's temple housing spirit and soul. It could be that these signals are weakening, or perhaps they aren't able to get their frequency into it somehow. They were ordered to cease and desist using all medicines as bridges and connectors to people's flesh temples, their mental body, their physical body, their spirit, soul, their energy, and their timeline. They were ordered not to do that any longer, and yet appears they're still out there doing that. There's a masculine talking to the curator about a zodiac. These ones are talking about the energy signature. So the thing is that they have a really bad dude or really dark energy who is a Sagittarius. They need an angelic Sagittarius feminine who is pure, unblemished, so that they can, how they put it the other day was attach to the stomach, the solar plexus power center, which is the silver cord that going to source creator, right? So they need a Sagittarius because the energy signature has to be the same. They can't be mixing zodiacs, otherwise it'll screw up their hidden, their illusion and all of that, right? The energy signature has to be matchy, saggy. And they're not able to find that. Yeah. Alrighty, and then they're discussing a cycle. Someone is saying, you have no idea what's going to happen to your adversary. And that's true. I don't. One of these masculines is complaining about something being salty. Now, this is funny because I've had this message come up before. So years ago, before I started doing salt work, I got attacked by Draco a lot. These lower vibrational entities, the Draco entities. And since I started doing salt work, that has changed a bit because they really do not like it when you are salty. They don't like you when you're salty. So be salty. There was a vision of a man sitting in a chair. His eyes were open, but they had no life in them. They were DEAD, their face expressionless. It appears as though these men who have been feeding on the energy and soul of women and children are losing their ability to experience life. Someone is impulsive or is said to be impulsive. The curator is talking about a husband, and another voice said, it's over. So they were saying that the moment of truth is here. So it sounds as though they were sending out some big bully to go attack this woman. And it sounds to me as though her kingdom spouse may have siphoned the life right out of his vessel, harvested him. It was an impulsive act. He should not have attacked this man's wife. So it's over. It's as if this group sent that fellow in to harvest a woman, the woman of truth, or the moment of truth. Looks like they weren't able to accomplish whatever they thought they were going to do. So many years ago, the curator says, so many years ago. This has been going on for centuries, and they got kind of lazy and arrogant, and they degraded themselves and defiled themselves. They went really, really. See, years ago, their shadow probably wasn't as big as it was. But the more light they consumed, the greater this shadow went, and then now they're just like, it's way in over their head. They may have even forgot who many of these angels were. They just got everybody all mixed up. So many years ago, the curator says. He's talking about the Sagittarius, and from previous messaging, I understand that the zodiac is the necessary one for the proper sacrifice. Their savior must be Sagittarius because the energy signature has to match the zodiac. He's saying that she doesn't remember, or that you don't remember. They're talking about humans and humanity. A younger masculine was talking to the curator and said, well, you are human. However, it seems that this curator is a genetic modification of a human being, or they are a human being who bound themselves, gained a soul tie or a soul contract with this lower vibrational entity. So they're not fit to lead or to guide humanity. They've been trafficking them, consuming them. However, there's a group of people, youngers and feminines and masculines, both saying, you guys, da-da-da-da-da, they're asking, da-da-da-da-da. So they could be inquiring, wanting to get to the bottom of this, what's really going on, and what are the possibilities, the potentialities. It's as though these entities were given opportunity to collaborate, to create, and to live among the human beings, and they took advantage of humanity and their gifts. They took advantage of the energy of the earth angelics, the daughters of Eden, the sons of Eden, and they were cruel and brutal. And feeding vampiric everybody, hurting them with the pleasure in their heart. They did far more than take advantage of it. They used it, they abused it, and they have lost the privilege of being in the presence of it. Got them all grouped, somebody said. Apparently something is baseless. A claim, an accusation, a suspicion. It is unfounded, untrue, and not supported by evidence. These men are calling this woman dangerous, but it is they who continuously come forward to attack her. She's not seeking them out to do them harm. She is defending herself against an attack. They are seeking her out, to unalive her, to consume her, to replace her, and to command her identity and authority. She knows this is very true. They do not come forward peacefully. They come forward and constantly threaten her safety and security. Because she is able to overcome them in their efforts to destroy her, they say that she is dangerous. She's here bringing healing and temperance to the chaos and the destruction that they have wantonly poured upon the earth. She's not seeking to destroy anyone. However, the Most High God may be destroying them for seeking to harm her, while she is here in purpose of healing and bringing balance, restoring some sense of ethical, moral, love, honor, respect, communication, and compromise. They're talking about adjustments. The woman brings forth life. She nurtures it. She blesses it. She magnifies it. These invasive masculines seem to be obsessed with destroying that life or making it weak, sickly, possessing that life and feeding on it. They're calling her dangerous because they cannot control her, contain her, or stop her from freely living. She's an American, so they're having a little more trouble. They've tried to crush her soul by repeatedly unaliving her, squashing her spirit, and abusing her body and her mind. They say that she is dangerous because they cannot control her. They cannot dim her light, even after many death and rebirth cycles of abuse. Her being labeled dangerous is their own fear and projection of their own attributes. They are afraid they can't control her, and she has different ideals, perceptions, and plans for family, moral, ethical boundaries, honor. These men, they feel, well, I've already said it. The mother brings forth life, and these invasive species calling themselves fathers destroy that life. They cannot manage themselves in the mother's presence, therefore they are forced to look at their own shadow. They do not like what they see, so they want to squash her and blame her for what they see. They are emotionally distraught that the mother is walking free in her power and authority. These men worship war, and they call this woman dangerous because they cannot conquer her. But it is they who are making war. She is not making war. God is defending her from men wanting to take away her opportunity to be. They're projecting their own abusive nature onto her. They say, she who gives life is dangerous. They're very twisted. There's something about secret societies, and there's something about the dining room table. They're talking about the Arabs, and something about infinity, which is something limitless, endless, and boundless. These ones are discussing weakness, and they're discussing energy. This is the message. I hope that it brings clarity to something you already intuitively knew, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody.